Hello, hi, Melanie Kamlam Khanya, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Running Podcast. This month on the Running Podcast, we are highlighting and celebrating women in the running community. As a bonus, on today's episode, I am joined by the incredible woman, founder of Mindful, Mia Toit.
It's just like, I've got an audience, but it's fine. Let's just go with it.
Hi, yourself. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I'm so honored to have you on the Running Podcast.
It's very nice for you to be here in my space.
Feel comfortable, feel at home. I
Yeah.
feel at home in your space.
Amazing. That's the goal. I was literally like, I said to my boyfriend last night, I'm such a homemaker. Like, I'm really the least domestic person in the world. Like, I hate cleaning. Like, I don't really like cooking, but I love decorating and like making a fun, like, homey space.
I mean, you could definitely tell from like the pops of color you have here. I mean, I know the camera won't be able to see it, but we definitely saw. We love this
Amazing.
with the orange wall.
Amazing.
So-
Goal complete.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
I'm glad you like it.
Love it. So for me, the reason why I asked you to be on the Running Podcast is because I strongly feel passionate about just women in the sporting realm or in the sporting space. And for me, I know that you run and you also have Mindful. And I really wanted to celebrate women in sports, specifically women in running. And I know Cape Town at the moment has like a big running culture and it's just very cool, very exciting.
Yeah.
And I really wanted you to be on here because I've been inspired by what you've done and what you are still doing, and especially with like Mindful. And I've just been inspired by that and just really wanted you to be on here and to hear more about it.
Amazing. Thanks. That's like really lovely to hear. And it's a huge honor for me to be on this podcast because I don't think I'm a very serious runner or anything. So I was like, okay, got to fake it till I make it. But that is very sweet. And I think that is the goal of what we try to do at Mindful is empower and inspire through a whole lot of different ways, right? Not everyone is inspired in the same way. Not everyone needs the same thing.
Yeah.
People take differently and people feel differently.
Yeah.
And I think that was important for me because throughout my life, I've needed different things at different stages. And I think that's where running also comes into it, that I never was a runner. I used to be one of those people that couldn't run a K, and then I was like panting and tired, and I was like, I'm never going to do it again kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I think running like picked up a lot in Cape Town specifically.
Yeah. It literally blew up out of nowhere.
I know, it's like super trendy at the moment, right? It's
If
like,
you're not running,
what are you
what are you
wearing?
doing?
What shoes do you have? How far are you running? Like
the latest
that kind
burnt
of thing.
apparel.
Exactly. of
Killer
course.
sitting right there. Like,
Shout
we
out.
see you, girl.
But yeah, it kind of like, it was just around a bit more. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, we can laugh about it being trendy and whatever, but I think those kind of communities, and I mean a community like Mindful as well is something that I think is super valuable to society.
Yeah.
So those running communities, I think, did more than just having people go out and run,
Yeah.
you know. It brought different people together, and I can attest to that.
I love that.
I used to go out running alone. And I didn't like it. I was suffering. I was tired. And I
Yeah.
was like, why the heck do people like this?
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
like the common thought, really.
right. So, but I had a friend who was a very good runner, and he just always said to me, like, find someone to run with,
Yeah.
like, make it social. Don't go out and make every run your best. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to run socially, and sometimes you just want to take it easy and take it slow, right? But I think I'm personally I'm quite harsh on myself
Yeah.
and quite a perfectionist, so that mindset didn't really gel.
Actually, very competitive.
Right? Like your own worst enemy, like classic. But I really try to adopt that mindset of, okay, let's just go out, let's chill, let's do it for fun. And that's until today, like one of the most valuable pieces of advice someone has given me with running is it doesn't always have to be your best. Go out there for you.
Exactly.
So when I did a bit more of that, took his advice and I started enjoying it a little bit more and kind of built up running slowly, socially, which was lovely, and did a bit more of it. But then also went through phases. I got injured as well, and then it was very difficult to leave it. And then I got this love-hate relationship with again. So it's like, it's a cycle.
We can all attest to
Right?
that. The love
It's a
hates
cycle.
is literally, I think it's a very normal thing. Even for
Yeah.
me, I've been in and out of like loving running and then hating running. currently I'm back in the space of like starting to love it again.
Amazing.
And it's honestly been amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's okay. I think not enough people speak about it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people put up this facade that they're running every single day, far,
Yeah.
good, and it's easy. And it's really not always, especially for people who want to get into the
Yeah.
running scene.
I also think it's like there's like a slight danger in Strava.
Yes.
I mean, love Strava. We
I
all
also
have
love
Strava. But there is a slight danger in terms of like how people view your Strava as like a competitive kind of
100%.
thing. And people start comparing themselves to that person. Oh, this person's running fast. Maybe I should run faster.
Exactly.
But it's just like not understanding. Maybe that person's actually trained to be able
100%.
to get to that goal, or
Exactly.
like, you know, everyone's just slightly different. You can't
100%.
always be doing the same thing or reach the same goals.
Exactly.
And I think once you start comparing yourself to other people, like there's just such a danger to that.
100%. And I mean, even taking that further, like when you go for a run on the promenade, the whole of Cape Town's out there looking great. And someone might have just started their run while you are like 5Ks in,
Exactly.
and you are running slower and maybe you're struggling
Yeah.
a bit, but now you see this person who's like looking
Yeah.
prime, like just cruising.
Exactly.
And then you feel bad. Then you go into the cycle. And I think it's a very magical moment when your experience with running turns from that kind of comparison and that negative spiral in your mind
Yeah.
to when you start running for emotional well-being, mental health, and kind of repicturing why you're running.
Yeah.
That was when things changed for me, when I wasn't running because I had to or I wanted to impress people. Like I was just loving it, and it was kind of like an emotional escape from like
Yeah.
a busy life, like hectic work, and I was able to go out there in nature
I love
and just
that.
like run very
I love
slowly.
what you were
but
saying, like how you're running for you.
yeah,
And like, I want to know, like, how did you first start running? When did that all start out? Because no one just like pops out the womb. Okay, cool, I'm a runner.
Well-
like it starts somewhere.
I kind of feel like that was me. I was like,
You come running out the womb.
I just never, and I mean, I didn't run at school. I wasn't like really big into athletics.
Yeah.
I really like team sports, and still until today, I think I prefer a team sport and a team environment. But I needed a get out of hectic
Yeah.
work environments, and I was in quite a toxic space in my life about 3
Yeah.
years ago, and something needed to give, and I needed to find a healthy coping mechanism to get out of that and to kind of just feel myself again and tap
Yeah.
into like me.
I love that.
And running became, weirdly enough, I first started running when I was in that space in my life because I wanted to get out, and I was angry when I ran, so I ran fast, and I was like thinking about everything going wrong, and I was thinking of how stressed I was, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I ran fast, and then I was like, okay, but this isn't really what I want to associate with my runs. So I went out day after day with the same passion, but I like reimagined that passion into like motivation, and really took what was kind of turbulent in my life at that stage, use it as motivation to kind of tap back into what I want from life, where I'm at, where I'm going, and use that kind of as motivation to enjoy the running path, and realizing that was kind of, you know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes of my day that I could work on something for me as well.
I love that. Like, I often think not many people enjoy the run. I think people just run for either the sake of running or because they're trying to beat someone.
Totally.
And I mean, even with me saying like there is a slight danger in Strava, but I also think there's such a joyful moment in that as well, with like community backing you.
Totally.
People giving you kudos and people commenting and stuff. I think that's really cool.
100%.
But I think once you start running for yourself, I think that changes so much in terms of like your perspective on running, and also like community wise, because you
Amazing.
become more open to things rather than just being so focused on you and what you want to do and like how you want to beat this person and how you're so competitive. I just think when you open yourself up a bit more and kind of pull back, you allow for so much more to come
Totally.
in.
But I think it's also about putting yourself out there, right? So,
Yeah.
and finding that community, because there's so many different running communities.
Oh, spoiled
So-
for choice.
I know, right?
Spoiled for choice.
And like loads of them are great. So being able to find what works for you, whether it's a
Yeah.
bigger community, whether it's a small running group, slow running group, faster, whatever it is that challenges you, but putting yourself out there to meet those people, become friends with them. Like
Yeah.
I've made such good friends, and realizing that everyone's kind of got a common goal. It's not you against each other,
Exactly.
like you trying to impress someone or beat
Exactly.
someone. So when you can find a safe community and a safe space like that, I think that really like powers your running a lot
Yeah.
more, because then you can kind of find that sweet spot between I'm running for myself, but I've also got people around me that are backing me, motivating me, and I can do the same and kind of give back to other people in that community as well.
Do you run alone, or are you part of like a run crew?
So I usually run alone just because it's like time-wise and schedule-wise kind of thing. But I've got a few friends that I like running with as well. And I do love a social run with a few like groups and stuff, but I don't...
I mean, there's so many social groups.
You can just go out every day of the week.
Literally.
Like, today I want to do
this. There's someone running. There's a crew running every day.
100%.
So you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah. But I had a friend who is a very good runner, and when I kind of said I wanted to take running a bit more seriously, she would run with me at like the slowest possible pace she's ever run. Like she's out there doing 2 oceans, and I'm like, please can you come on like a slow 5K with me? And she's like,
a
sure.
sexy pace,
like, just chill,
very
and
easy,
just like conversational. I was like, yes, conversational. Like heart rate sky high, but like doing it, loving it. And I think that also really helped, having someone and a few people or one person in that start of your journey, being there like unapologetically, like not judging you, just being there for that progress. So that was, I think, huge for me when I found someone like that who I could start running with. Because I think it's a bit intimidating as a new runner to go into one of these like crews as well. So kind of finding that bridge.
Wearing like the latest gear.
Everyone's
cool.
flipping fast.
Everyone knows everyone.
Exactly.
And it's like the in thing to do like a 5:30 pace, and like a 4:30 if you like,
I'm like,
super
guys,
spicy.
I'm dying.
Exactly. So no.
Yeah, so that like bridge into getting there, I think, was very important. And I'm very thankful like to have had someone in that kind of journey where I felt very, vulnerable, because it wasn't something I was doing. Like I do a lot of different kind of activities and exercise, but I think it's important to try new things. And I was like, let's go.
This is new.
And now I'm like, consider myself an amateur runner. So
to be honest, I think we're all really amateur runners.
Totally.
To be honest, I will never be a pro athlete. Like, there's no ways. And also for me, it's not that deep. It's not that serious.
100%.
Like, I'm not trying to compete for like the next award or next medal or to podium or to do anything like that, but more like running for me and what
100%.
running does for me. And I think it's just created such a beautiful like space to just mentally decompartmentalize. And just also sometimes just not think.
100%. It's like, but it's what I was speaking about. That's when you are uncomfortable while running, you overthink. And I think your mind, like, it's not always a great kind of train of thought. But when you change that relationship with running and you start enjoying it and run for you, then it just literally silences your mind in the weirdest way. Like, it's literally therapy.
Like free therapy.
Honestly, the best kind of therapy, if you ask me.
I mean, when I did the running streak, I had a why and I was enjoying it and all that kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed like how I would go on this journey where I get to unpack a lot of the things and just kind of understand a few things here and there. Why am I doing this? Why am I acting this way? What is my attitude? What's going on? And that helped really like a lot. And then it just got to a space where I would just leave, and the moment I would leave my apartment, everything just switches off.
Amazing.
And which was great at the beginning, but then I realized when I stopped that all the stuff that I should have worked out during my run, I didn't. Now I'm sitting with all these emotions and all these things that I having to like unpack in real time.
For sure.
And I'm just like, oh, that's a
tough.
lot. That's a lot to take.
Sit back and think about what you've done.
Exactly. So, I mean, as beautiful as running is, I think also mentally, like outside of running, just kind of like make sure that you're in the right place.
100%.
In a good space, and also have people with you.
Always, right?
To be able to kind of, I guess, unpack all of that. But also people who would just bring you into their community. Make you feel a part of something.
Exactly. I think, and I really think that this kind of rise in communities, not only running communities, but there's a whole lot of different communities in Cape Town that we see popping up for different reasons, whether it's book clubs or whether it's running groups or other kind of physical activity-based things. For mental health reasons. Again, showing that not everyone needs the same thing and everyone kind of has to tap into something else to kind of get that mental clarity and that mental stillness. But it's such an amazing trend that I've seen come, and they do predict that it's going to get even like more huge and bigger and whatever. which is great because then you're always meeting new people, and
That's true.
it gives you an opportunity to kind of branch out, step out of your comfort zone. Like, I'm an introvert, and here I'm like, okay, cool, maybe I'll go like on this hike with this group of 30 people that I've never met before, but let's
Or
try.
be on a podcast and
Let's go. Let's chat. So yeah, I think it's great. Like, community is key. We cannot
Absolutely.
get through life and all of its turbulences alone.
Yeah.
So finding the right people, whether that's like in a community, in friends, in work, or wherever it is crucial. Like, you can't get by yourself. That's what I've learned.
Absolutely. And I think you've created such a beautiful space with Mindful as well, with creating that community. So like my next question would be like, how did that all start and what is Mindful all about?
So where did it start? Because I think it's always been kind of in the back of my mind of something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just wasn't 100% sure how to do it, and I didn't always have the time. But when I was doing my post-grad, I just remember needing like a mental outlet somehow, whatever, and that's the same time I got into running. And I kind of did some online courses into life coaching, business coaching to upskill myself, because I was learning things. I was like, this is helpful. Like, I actually needed to hear this. But also maybe with the idea of one day, you know, being able to help other people and teach other people all of these lessons that I'd learned. But I kind of, you know, kept it to myself, and through kind of that time on social media, I would share a few kind of tips and tricks that I'd learned and that helped me, but never took it seriously or anything. And then it just kind of like, that passion didn't die down. It just carried on. And I think when things got more stressful in a corporate space, in a corporate environment, I realized there were other people that were feeling the way I was feeling. There were other people that needed a community, needed a safe space, needed, you know, to meet new people and to kind of have a bit of a stress reliever. And that's when I think I decided, okay, let's do this. I'm not alone in how I'm feeling. Other people need what I think I can help them with a little bit. And I've always said, like, even if it's touched one person in the slightest way, my goal at Mindful is like done. And that's really all it's about, is helping other people and recognizing that people need to be helped in different ways. So the whole idea behind it is to create a platform where people can connect, where people can empower each other, and where I can kind of share knowledge and bites and all kinds of content that people could tap into. So whether that's like bites that we have from psychologists, some like psychology tips and tricks, whether it's like really good books that I've read, whether it's, you know, quotes or movies or whatever it may be, that someone maybe will open the Instagram, scroll across it and be like, flip, I needed this today and this is like contributed to my day. So it's definitely a work in progress, but that's where we want to go. Like, we created this book club out of Mindful.
I saw that. That looks so sick.
It's so
I'm not
cute.
a big reader, but I was just like, I could get into reading. Just be part of a book club.
It is literally the cutest. I was terrified the first meetup we had. I was like, no one is going to pitch up to this thing. Like, I've got like
so many people pitched
over
up.
50 people on this WhatsApp group, but I'm convinced no one is going to come. And then it was literally the most incredible people that pitched up. And I think the worry with creating a community and putting yourself out there is that maybe it doesn't attract the right group of people, or that people don't sync, or they don't benefit as much out of it as one would want them to.
Yeah.
And it was just like a full circle moment for me, because everyone arrived and everyone was literally the loveliest people I've ever met, from all walks of life, and everyone shared their stories, and it was more than about the book kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
people are always looking for a community.
100%.
They're always looking for like a little safe space, a little homey space.
So that's really, I want to keep that. I want it to stay safe, and I want it to stay like a small community. But the idea behind it is to create smaller of those pockets, so not everyone reads. What else can we do? Do we want to tap into like exercise, because that's like such a great form of like mental health and like relief? Do we want to just do social meetups? Maybe people need like some fresh air. Maybe they want to go to the beach. Maybe we do yoga. Like, creating those little communities in the Mindful community that people can tap into whenever they need. And maybe one day we do like an app or a podcast or something like that, you know?
So much you can do. There's so much, and I fully back that. And I honestly, like, I've been following it for a while, and I'm just like, this is honestly so amazing. We definitely need more communities like these where we really invite people in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a running community, but there's also like places and spaces where people can just come in, like, if you want to read a book,
Exactly.
if they, you know, want to do something else that's a bit different. I think that's so great. And honestly, I could not recommend it more to keep creating like communities and to be able to be so open and so inviting for people.
No,
I think you've
100%.
done such an amazing job so
Thank
far.
you. That's
And
very sweet.
and I honestly only feel like it's only going to get bigger and better from here.
I hope so. I think one goes through different phases in your life and you need different things. And that's also why creating all of these sub kind of committees and stuff, the hope and the dream is that wherever you find yourself, you can tap into one of them.
Absolutely.
I don't think we all need the same thing in life every day. And I think take what you can from communities like Mindful and alike, and leave what you don't need. I think that's also an important tip.
Absolutely.
You don't need to just take.
Yeah. How do you balance it all? Because I know you don't just do Mindful. I know you have a full-time job.
Yeah.
You also influence there on the side.
It's not easy. I feel I am often a little bit overwhelmed. I was totally overwhelmed this morning.
I think these are more tips for me, really. Trying to balance a full-time job and a podcast.
No, 100%. It's like sometimes I commit to way too much and then I realize, okay, we won't do that again, and we learn. But I think the difficult thing for me is that Mindful is my passion project, and I love what it is, and it as much as it wants to help other people, it helps me too. So I would love to always give my undivided attention to Mindful, but obviously I've got a full-time job as well, and I do other things on the side as well. So I think it's just about spreading your time however well you can and not being too hard on yourself when you mess that up a bit. Some days, some weeks, I find myself having to commit to corporate for 12 hours a day. And other days it's a bit better.
12 hours a day.
Literally, like, I leave in the dark and I come home in the dark. And there's, like, it teaches me a lot. And it's obviously like what I have to do to get by, but I learn a lot out of it, and I'm very glad for that space that I'm in as well, because that helps me know what to put out on Mindful and what people need, like mentally and emotionally as well. But then also not giving up on what your passion project is. I think it's easy, and I'm definitely not perfect in that regard, but it's easy to kind of let it subside when maybe things get hectic at your full-time job, or when life is life. The things happen, unexpected things come by, and not beating yourself up about, like, flip, I didn't get this out today, or flip, like, I wanted to be here in month X already and I'm not here. I think that's okay if you kind of go on that project and on that journey knowing that it's going to be fluid and it's going to be ever changing. I think that's a good attitude to go into it with. Don't because the moment you put too much pressure on your passion project, it doesn't become your passion anymore, right? It becomes like more of a job. And I think that's important to just allow yourself, like, the flexibility and the fluidity to let it, just go.
Let it flow.
Do what it must.
That's such a good reminder.
I was like, oh yes, Mia, remember.
Oh, right. That's okay, cool. No, that is such a good reminder, because I think for me personally, I often put a lot of pressure on myself in wanting to do things well and to be perfect at everything and not really leaving room for error kind of thing. And I think sometimes, like, we do need to leave a little room for error, because we're all going to make mistakes.
Exactly.
We're human beings at the end of the day.
100%.
And it's just sometimes so, like, disheartening when things don't work out.
I know.
But it just needs to work out. Why is it not working out? There's only one plan, and that's just plan A. Plan B and C are non-existent.
I'm exactly the same.
So this was such a good reminder for me to hear, to be like, you know what?
It's not always going to go according to plan, and the sooner you realize it's not always going to go according to plan, the better it's going to get.
Thanks for reminding me.
It's a harsh reminder, but
I needed that reminder.
No,
but it's so good, and I think that's also just speaks to testament of, like, you being able to encourage me like that, just because of like what you've been through and what you are doing within the community. And I think the community is so blessed to have you. And it's just so
Oh, I've been so sweet of you. Thank you. No, it is like a huge privilege for me to be able to share what I've learned and kind of situations I've been in, how I can help other people. It's a huge privilege for me, and I don't take it lightly at all. I think people go through such horrible things in life.
Absolutely.
And I think if one can just contribute that little bit to make it a little bit better for them, I think that's amazing in whatever way it is. But we're all out here trying.
We're all out here trying. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What's like been the most rewarding thing so far out of Mindful?
I think seeing people who've needed Mindful and realizing that it's helped them.
Yeah.
And it's a space that they like benefit from. I mean, when I met these people at the book club, I was like, what the hell? Like, you guys
have you only ever had one so far?
No,
or?
we've done 2 and we're about to do the 3rd one.
Okay.
So the first time it was like the core group, and the second time there were new people there, and it's like ever growing, which is so cool. But I think people finding Mindful unexpectedly as well, and then, you know, really being able to see it's made a tangible difference in their lives, and people just really like valuing it, you know, because sometimes, I mean, with any kind of, I think, social media or content or podcast kind of thing one does, you do have this like crazy thought, like, is this actually helping anyone? Is anyone looking at it? Does anyone benefit from it? Am I speaking to myself? Which is cool because I need to hear what I'm putting out there. So, but
I can
you know
relate,
what I mean? So being able to kind of see physically, people actually need what we're trying to help people with, was super rewarding for me. And just seeing that community come together, like everyone around the table at book club was loving each other. Like I was like, I'm going to step back, but you guys do your thing. Like seeing people like that who've never met each other, who literally come from all spheres, connect and find that community in each other was really, really rewarding, I must say.
That makes me so happy, because I was recording an episode yesterday, and I was saying to the girls like how I love what the running community has done for me specifically, only because I've found friends. It took me 2 years to make friends when I moved to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And I love that so many of those stigmas have kind of just like broken down or just deteriorated over time, and how people are a bit more welcoming, and there's more communities that are a lot more welcoming, and people get to make friends a lot easier.
Totally. And you know what? Like, I think Cape Town is small, and Cape Town can be intimidating if you're new. And it's like, it can be quite cliquey. So finding your people and your community maybe takes a bit longer, but I think it's such valuable time to invest and find those people.
Exactly.
Because you won't ever lose them.
I actually feel like it's become less cliquey. And I don't know if I'm saying that because I'm part of the clique now.
I am the main clique.
I guess the clique is like running, but I mean, I really, really, really found it hard at the beginning, but now it's just like, it's a lot more open and maybe a lot less cliques. Maybe I'm just saying that because I'm part of a clique.
Maybe, but you are right in saying, like, I think when you're kind of, before you join a community like that, it's quite daunting and intimidating, and one perceives it one way. Where if you just dip your foot into it and you realize, actually, people are lekker, like they, you know, it's a vibe, and people are cheering each other on, and the environment is healthy, then it's like, why would you not, you know? Like, be that clique.
Everything's
create
such a
that
good
clique.
time in Cape Town.
No, exactly. Why wouldn't you? Like, I love this place.
I mean, there's the mountains, there's the beach, there's cool people.
Great running spots.
Great
Right
great book clubs. I mean,
what more could you want?
For choice when it comes to community.
Exactly. But I think what Cape Town really offers in that sense as well is the ability to kind of pivot into whatever you feel like doing in that kind of space of your life. And I've always said, like, and I don't get this right, but one needs to perceive exercise and movement as more of like a playful form. I think very often we take it very seriously, and we kind of forget, you know, like, movement is a form of play.
Yeah.
Let's try something new. Like maybe I suck at yoga, but like let's go do a beginner's class, and then maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow let's go check out this new spinning studio, and then let's go for a slow run. And
Hustle and heart.
you know, I
Girl.
really want to try that. It
Love
seems
it.
great.
Love it.
That's
You
what I was
should
thinking about right now. But you know what I mean? Like, I think we mustn't always take ourselves
Yeah.
and exercise that seriously. I think it can be fun and it can be different.
Yeah.
And it can be exciting and challenging in that way.
Absolutely.
Challenging your body and also then your mind
Yeah.
to say, maybe I'm not the best runner, maybe I'm not the fastest runner, but I want to see mentally how strong I am. And challenge yourself to say, okay, cool, maybe I've only run 4Ks in my life. Let's do a 5K
Yeah.
today. And then you'll feel absolutely fabulous afterwards.
I think it's amazing what sport can do.
Totally.
For me, it definitely helped me condition my mind.
Totally.
And how I do things and how I push myself to be able to, I guess, to reach those goals. And to even set up goals for myself.
Yeah.
I think not everyone has maybe like the ability to set up a goal and really work hard at that. But mainly just like a distant thing sometimes of like, oh, there's that maybe one day, but then doesn't really push towards that.
For sure.
I think really conditioning your mind in the sense where you remain positive, but also you, what's the word? The English just left my brain. But like you condition your mind to be able to push yourself to do what you want to do, but also showing up for yourself.
Totally.
To be able to do those things.
It's like that commitment that you're pushing through on a goal that you've set yourself. And I think there's like but there's also a fine line of not overcommitting and like over-exerting yourself when you get that committed to your goals. And I think that's something that a lot of people also struggle with. It's like if you then don't meet your goal, like it's actually okay too. But it's about going and putting yourself out there, setting that goal, and knowing it's going to benefit you in multiple ways. And if there's any reason people should be running, it's the mental benefit it gives you. Go for the PB, go for the time, go for the training, whatever. But like, your mind needs it, and the kind of clarity it gives you and that free therapy it gives you really is the best possible. It's for me, it's like by far the biggest benefit of when I started running. Like that's on days I don't feel like going, when I'm like, ugh, this isn't what I want to be doing. I'm like, okay, let's go. And then it turns out to be like the most beneficial and great runs actually when it's unplanned, when I don't feel like it.
Even during winter.
I love cold runs. Not in the morning. You're like, I cannot relate.
But Kacha over here is just like, yeah, no.
They're like, no.
No.
No, I don't like running when it's like very hot, and no, it's not for me.
To be honest with you, I'm very in between with both. I don't like training in the winter now as much, just because last year when I was on the streak and training for the marathon, it was hell for me.
No,
it was not cutesy at all. And then this year, obviously not being on the streak, I'm like, why? It's raining, it's cold.
Yeah.
You just stay in bed. Like there's no pressure. But also it's just like, I actually don't like being cold.
No, me neither. Like I hate winter, don't get me wrong.
But I also don't like being hot.
I don't like being hot.
Boiling.
Like we were overseas now and we went for a few runs and I was like, this is terrible. It's hot, it's humid, like I'm dehydrated for the rest of the day.
So I think autumn and spring is like the perfect time to
let's
run.
meet in the middle on that one. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think now I might start enjoying runs a bit more because now we're heading into spring.
Yes, okay. Maybe I should go run a bit more now.
See, when the air is nice and crisp outside.
No, that's true.
It's not like terribly cold where you have to wear gloves at the beginning of your run.
No, that's true.
Or a beanie.
Like, to be fair, there's one core memory of when I think I was probably running like a few months when I was still back at varsity. And I was like in like terrible emotional space. And I was like, I'm going to go run now. And it was pouring. It was like storming on the promenade.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm getting out of this house. I'm going for a run. Like I was soaked. I was like sobbing, soaked, loving this run. I was like,
it's actually the perfect time to
it was
go
amazing.
For a run is when you
like,
go through
I'll
a
never
loss and
forget
you want to cry.
Exactly.
No one can tell if you're crying or if it's
That's
the
like
rain.
very depressing. Like I've like vocalizing that sounds like terrible. I promise you I'm fine.
To be honest with you, I've had many cries on a run too. I cried at the marathon last year.
I mean, valid.
But I wore glasses, no one saw.
Exactly.
I had to cry it out.
I would cry the whole way if I had to run a marathon. Let's put it that way.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You will literally, you go through so many emotions
Exactly.
running a marathon that you just,
flip.
the only way to release it is literally to cry.
But then also, so now you go through this emotional run, whatever it may be, and then afterwards it's like the most amazing thing ever that you've accomplished it, and you
That's the
feel
best feeling ever.
like you don't have any more problems left in the world.
That's why I keep running. That's my why. It's like, yo, I guess it feels so good afterwards.
Totally.
In the moment it sucks.
Yeah.
But afterwards,
You cross that finish line and you're like, oh yes.
yo, and
Let's do it again.
And then the first meal after that is, I swear, food tastes even better after a run.
Of course, always, always. I mean, food, like, I'm obsessed with eating, but anyway, we won't delve into that.
What's like your go-to meal after a run?
I love like a good burger and chips, but
Love that.
okay, I don't eat beef anymore, but my favorite food in the whole world is like just a hamburger, like a beef burger. So I'm struggling with that at the moment, but trying to find a good vegan burger if anyone can hit me up.
Woolies. Woolies has some good options.
No, like takeout. I don't want to make it after I run.
What do you mean? You just pop it in a pan.
No, I want to go sit somewhere with like a beer and a burger and fries. That's what I want to do. So
That's a
someone
good
can
meal,
hit me
actually.
up, please.
I was going to say spur, but that's 100% beef. That's not an
That's not going to
option.
work. That's not going to work.
No.
No.
Oh my gosh. I actually don't even know what my favorite meal is. Or what's my go-to.
Something greasy has to be.
No, I actually really love bread.
Oh, me too.
So anything that's bread related.
Like a
nice
fresh
avocado toast. Or like,
Gal, look at you.
or cheese toasty.
Yeah.
I guess that is greasy.
I know.
That's nice.
You have to have some kind of like grease or
Like bacon. Or like a nice fried egg actually on toast.
pizza. No.
If it's maybe cold.
Why? That is like... That is the weirdest
But, like,
thing I've ever heard.
Honestly, I really enjoy actually pizza the next day. So like if there's leftovers, I would always enjoy like cold pizza. Everyone's laughing at me.
I love how this is like, you know, we're talking about mental health, running, but I love cold pizza the next day. Let's keep it real.
It does sound strange, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go out for like a pizza though.
No. Yeah.
After
fair.
a run.
Whatever floats your boat, girl.
I used to go for bagels
That's a good
until
one.
I realized
I had a
I
bagel this
actually
morning.
just bought into the hype of bagels and I actually don't like bagels.
And that's even weirder. How can you not like a bagel?
I think I just bought into the hype of Cape Townians liking bagels. And I didn't realize, I was like, I don't like fighting with my bread. Because you technically are fighting like in your first bite. Am I lying? Everyone's laughing at.
Everyone's laughing, but everyone's like, that's kind of true, but I love bagels.
So I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to fight. I have a tough time with rye bread when it's toasted. That's okay. So I'm just going to skip it and be like, I'll choose a different fighter.
Yeah, I think maybe we should just go back to like Avo toast.
Avo toast and sourdough. Keep it simple.
Fresh loaf
or just
sourdough.
normal Albany bread.
I will literally just eat the loaf of sourdough. Like if it's fresh, I shall eat it.
Oh, it's so much. When it's fresh and you just peel it apart. We
Girl,
digress.
girl.
But
I mean,
yes.
the other weekend we bought I promise this is the last bit of bread I'm talking about. We bought a fresh loaf of sourdough and I ate it before the end of the weekend. My boyfriend was like, where did the bread go? I was like, I was hungry. I was like stressed. And was like,
I live
"That's
across the
hectic
road from
behavior."
like a food lovers.
Oh yeah.
And every day they bake fresh bread. And then they have like this sweet potato sourdough.
Okay.
Which is, I promise you, it might sound weird if you don't know about it, but it is one of the most amazing. It's so good.
And it's
so
healthy,
good.
right? Because it's sweet potato, obviously.
I guess.
Obviously.
But it's also depending on the content that you
Yeah,
put
but
on
no,
the
it's healthy.
bread.
In my mind, it's healthy. It's fine.
But
you can eat it.
sweet potato bread, food lovers markets.
Okay,
Thank
hack.
me later.
I will go and try it and then I'll let you know.
If you don't like sweet potato, that might be
No, I
awkward.
like sweet potato. I'm here for
But
it.
if you like sweet potato and sourdough,
And it's going to make me feel like I'm eating healthy bread, so winning.
getting in your vegetables as well at
Look
the
at us.
same
Okay,
time.
so this is how it ties back to mental health and being healthy and running, you know.
Exactly.
There we go. That's it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. But thank you so much for being on the Running Podcast. Honestly, truly, truly, truly blessed and amazed by all the incredible stuff that you're doing. And I can't wait for more people to be inspired and to join in on the community.
Amazing. Thank you for having me. Let's hope Mindful, I don't know, there's some exciting things in the works. So keep watching.
Any exciting things that you're willing to share before we...
No, I mean, I think it's definitely, we're trying to do a bit more merchandise and stuff.
Okay.
And trying to do a few
Very
more
cute merch, by
projects. Yeah, I think like summer's coming, and I like doing kind of summer merch more than winter things. So it gives me a bit of a opportunity to be creative and play around. So I'm excited for that because it gives my creative side a bit of chance to play around.
Nice.
But also the idea behind the merch is kind of get some cool positive messages out there, get some cool quotes for people to wear, to see, to kind of spread the love. So definitely trying to do a bit more of that in summer. And yeah, maybe we've got some other movement related events happening. So that'll be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun and
So watch the
exciting.
space.
Watch the space. Any like maybe races that you're doing?
No, I haven't signed up for anything. I realized I should have probably signed up for the gun run, which I didn't.
Everyone has been trying to get tickets for the gun run. I got very lucky that my friend is moving. I mean, it's sad that she's moving, but then she
But
had
I'm
a ticket
running
and
the
I was
gun
like,
run
you know
now.
what? I'll take it off your hands since you're not running.
Yeah, damn. I was supposed to run the gun run last year, and then I got injured, and then I forgot that I had tickets afterwards and found myself in London. So that was the last gun run I was supposed to do, and then I think the universe said it's not giving me tickets again. So
We'll try
no
again
race,
next year.
basically.
We'll try again next year.
Maybe I'll see you there next year.
You just need to learn to be quicker.
Yes, that's a life lesson. I'll take that into
100%.
tomorrow.
I also need to learn that because
I'll
I
be on
definitely
the
also missed the
sideline.
deadline.
I'll cheer for you. Yeah,
I'll cheer for you.
I'll be there in a mindful shirt, cheering you on. You know, reminding you to be mindful on your run.
Sure, that's a great reminder.
Yeah, difficult one, but yeah. So no races, but kind of exciting things in the works with Mindful, which I'm super keen for.
Yay! And how can people get a hold of your merch?
You can just go over to my Instagram. Go browse on Mindful, pop me a message. We're still in the works of putting up a storefront, but hopefully that'll be done by the end of the year as well. And then people can just click on the link, buy some merch. At the moment, we've got shirts and we've got caps. And now I'm playing around with summer colors for caps, which I'm totally excited about. So, wait a little bit.
I love the colorways that you have at the moment.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Playing around, some cool colors, cool new pieces of merch as well. So I'll pop that online soon.
Exciting.
Cool.
This is so cool. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you.
Yay.
Bye. I'm like all sweaty.